this for 10 laps.
Eric Jones around. Back across the field. The big one, part 2 at Daytona.
Oh! A perfect storm of trauma, back-breaking crashes, and cars literally disintegrating on impact. Today, we are reacting to some of the most brutal and medically insane crashes in NASCAR history. Let's dive right in.
This for 10 laps.
Eric Jones around. Back across the field. The big one, part 2 at Daytona.
Oh! Kyle Busch ultimately ended up having bad injuries to his leg, most likely because of the impact. A lot of times we actually put our legs out driving, or you're trying to push the brake, and then that impact just smashes in or on the side.
And you see Kyle here being tended to by medical officials.
Ow. They put him in a makeshift splint, which is fine. Almost looks like a piece of cardboard, which it probably is. We have ones that are foam, and then they actually form around the limb. So it doesn't have to be perfectly straight, just needs to be stabilized.
Elliot Sadler hit there by...
They come away across, boom.
There's the 54. You saw the impact.
They ended up having what they call a comminuted fracture of the tib fib. These can be closed versus open, meaning did they pop through the skin or not?
He was trying to save it as long as he could. He was just barely going sideways. He was trying to save it, and then he noticed, it was obvious he couldn't get it saved.
He also, I believe, had midfoot fractures equivalent to like this part of the hand. A metatarsal fracture. Sometimes if it's really displaced, you have to have pins put in there.
Ryan Newman off turn 4 for the final time. Blaney to the outside.
Uh-oh.
To the inside.
Wiggly.
Here comes Hamlin up the outside.
Oh, man.
Crash into the wall, into the air.
That crash got airborne. Ryan Newman ended up in the hospital for multiple days, suffering blunt force trauma, but he was using the Hans device, which probably protected his neck, making sure he didn't have a cervical fracture injury or spinal cord injury.
Goes Newman.
That is a lot of flips. Still going. Oh my gosh, that's awful.
That's awful.
When somebody does get knocked out, the workup depends a lot of times on the symptoms thereafter. Nausea, vomiting, altered mental status. These are all reasons why you would get a CT scan of the head.
Ryan Newman comes across the line, 4th.
Oh my gosh, get out of there. On fire. Holy cow.
Comes to rest.
Because of the flames, it was a prolonged extraction to get him out of this car. If there's a prolonged extraction and you're continually bleeding on the inside, you're delaying ultimate definitive care, which increases the risk of mortality, which can lead to a hypovolemic shock. Oh, we got trucks. Nice. Oh.
This is going to hurt.
Geoff Bodine, the driver, I think ultimately had wrist fractures, facial fractures, burns, lung injury, lots of stuff, multiple surgeries. When somebody comes into the ER this way, you're doing the classic A, B, C, D, E. Oh my gosh. It's gone. Still going. Oh, and not avoiding. Holy cow. Making sure that their airway is open. Breathing, making sure that both lungs are moving air and they're not collapsed and there's no fluid in lungs. Circulation, checking blood pressure, heart rate, you're making sure they're not bleeding out. Disability equals neurologic. Exposure means log roll, check everything.
Yep. Keep your fingers crossed.
Holy cow. Burns we look at 2nd and 3rd degree. Certain burns will need skin grafts, and you need to cut off the dead skin, and then you need to find donor sites, so it gets pretty complicated, but you usually have a little bit of time to be able to do that.
One subject that I know will always be brought up.
Oh, that car just disintegrated into pieces. This is Michael Waltrip. I don't think there are any serious injuries, like shockingly, but it actually is a good talking point in the sense of how the cars were designed to protect the cabin, and then everything else kind of take the energy, and main compartment of where a person would be was still safe.
I hit the guardrail. The guardrail gave way.
Oh, that's why.
It just blew up.
The guardrail moved. His vehicle wasn't designed the way that it was designed. He could have succumbed to horrible head injury, spinal cord injuries, punctured lungs, fractures of your skull, bleeding in your brain, fractures of your face. You could still potentially have fractures, say, of like your wrists or your lower extremities just from the impact itself as you're holding against something.
3 Fords have separated themselves. A big push coming now for Harvick.
Flipping.
Do a barrel roll.
This is Ryan Preece. He was observed at the hospital overnight, only had bruising, some facial trauma. They were concerned because he had raccoon eyes. Oh gosh, still flipping. That is awful. Close your eyes, I hope.
upside down.
Oh, it's the worst. Raccoon eyes could be a sign of a basilar skull fracture, which could mean leaking of CSF, increased risk of infection, or other significant brain trauma. You could also just have different fractures of the face and the mid-face that could actually cause you to have raccoon eyes as well.
Going down the back straightaway, he makes a move or gets help from behind.
Something, look at that, airborne. Injuries that I end up seeing with this amount of force, people get thrown from the vehicle. Typically the massive injury that people get when they end up landing. Twisty, turny, boom. Got right into the wall there. His injuries ended up being related to his lower extremities. A left broken ankle, bruised back. Most likely what ends up happening with that front end, EMS, when they bring an individual into the emergency department, will ask how much intrusion was there into the compartment of the passengers, and it actually is quite helpful.
Stewart had a split second.
If watching these NASCAR cars explode, flip, or slam into concrete has your heart pounding like a loose lug nut, you might need a little occasional stress support like Chillax, a doctor-formulated, fast-acting supplement to calm your racing thoughts without knocking you out. You can find it at lifehappens.com or on Amazon. Oh man. Who was just sliding down the wall? Denny Hamlin. He ended up getting a L1 compression fracture. Compression meaning that that vertebral body got squished and compressed down. Watch the back of the car. What happens? Oh! Ouch. That sucks. Treatment ends up being pain management or something called a vertebroplasty, basically where they inject a polymer into that compressed bone to give it more structure and try to pop it up a little bit so it's not as compressed anymore. Oh, boom.
Another powerball over on his lid. It's Park and Dale Jr.
That is awful. I think Park, the guy that hit the rail a little harder, ended up getting a concussion. This issue was that Park ended up having a severe brain injury the year prior. And so this brings up an issue of repeated head injuries. You have something called secondary impact syndrome.
Trying to go on the outside of Rusty. Rusty moves up, they make contact, and Junior gets under the one car and just kind of bulldozes.
Wow. What can happen is the brain swells more rapidly, causing cerebral edema, which then could lead to a fatality. You're really careful with people with brain injuries and give them time to heal. If you get back too early and then you injure your head again, you have a significantly higher risk of having this rare condition. If you guys enjoyed my reaction to NASCAR and you want to see different type of car injuries, let me know in the comments below, or any other activity, let me know as well. And if you guys enjoyed this, definitely check out this playlist right here. Binge watch everything, and please make sure you subscribe. Let's continue to grow the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and stay healthy, my friends.